Okay, so last time we went over what a computer is. Today we will go over some basic computer skills, and we will try to also go into the lesson of storage because these should go by pretty fast. So lesson 2 is basic computer skills. So the learning goal for this lesson is we should learn how to properly turn on and off a computer, how to use a computer, keyboard and mouse, and open and close applications. So just for the trivia warm-up, could anybody tell me where is Silicon Valley? Where and what is Silicon Valley?
Silicon Valley is located in USA.
California, USA? Yep, that is correct. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Silicon Valley is a global innovation and tech hub with a lot of technology companies, and it's located in California, USA. Okay,
Just
so
like Bangalore is the Silicon Valley of India, you know? Okay? Yeah, Bangalore is the Silicon Valley of India. It's similar to what we do there. Go ahead, Taj. Good job.
Okay, so just for the basics on how to use a computer, so the on button looks like a power symbol, so that is to turn on the computer. And then before doing anything, we just need to wait for it to load. But then to turn it off, you can't just press the power button again. You need to save your work and close out of it, and then you'll have to shut down instead of just closing off or shutting down your laptop. And then you should never pull the plug out of your computer or laptop because you can lose files and the computer can be damaged and it can stop working. And restart means to turn the computer back on when something's not working, and it can help through bugs when something isn't working on the computer.
Taj, can you ask them access to a lab before that to the teacher?
So, do you guys use computers often? And if so, like how often do you use computers?
The PPT?
Like how often do the students use computers?
সিহঁতে লেবত কম্পিউটাৰ কিমান ফ্ৰিকুৱেণ্টলি ইউজ কৰে তাতে সুধিছে মানে ন কম্পিউটাৰ লেবত কৰে নে ডেস্কটপ লেপটপ সিহঁতৰ কম্পিউটাৰ বাবলি তোমালোকৰ কম্পিউটাৰ চাইন্সৰ লেব আছে নে মানে কেনেকে সুবিধাটো কোৱাচোন
মেম একচুয়ালি পিপিটি টো ইয়াত শ্বেয়াৰ হোৱা নাই মানে স্ক্ৰীনখন কিবা এটা প্ৰবলেম হৈ আছে
Oh, Taj, they cannot see your screen yet.
Really?
হয় নেকি? পলাছে দেখিছা নেকি স্ক্ৰীনখন তাজৰ
They might be on a different important part. The most important part of turning a computer on and off is to make sure that you don't just immediately turn it off. You want to make sure you save your work. So don't do anything that won't save your work. All right, now, if that's okay, should I move on to the next slide or should I give you some time to write down?
Yeah. think you can go ahead, Taj.
All right. So the next thing that we'll learn is using the mouse. So on the mouse or on the mouse pad, there's a left click and a right click. So if you want to left click, you click on the left side and that selects an item or it opens a link, or it inspects an item. So that's pretty important. And then double click will open up any files and folders or anything else. Right click will open a menu with extra options, and it is also the thing that allows you to select most applications on your computer. And then click and drag moves items around the screen, and then the scroll wheel can help you scroll up and down. So if you were to write anything, write what's written in the blue box on the right side.
এইখিনি বস্তু লিখা হা এই বক্সটোৰ ভিতৰত যিখিনি আছে ৰাইট সাইড এইটো লিখা আৰু you can trivia them, Taj.
মেম লিখিছে
এইখিনি বস্তু এইখিনি জানে নাজানে অলপ বেসিক হৈছে নেকি ইনফৰমেশনটো অলৰেডি জানে নেকি ল'ৰা ছোৱালী বিলাকে
জানা না তোমালোকে কিছুমানে জানে মেম কিছুমানে নাজানে তো ঠিকে আছে আৰু
ঠিক আছে সেইকাৰণে অলপমান ফাউণ্ডেশ্যনটো ক্লিয়াৰ হ'বলৈ তাজে শিকাইছে এইখিনি
All right. So those are the basics of using the mouse. And now we'll look at the basics for using the computers. So the basic ones are the letters and numbers. Those are pretty obvious. It just types the numbers. The space bar adds space, enter or return. That either enters or confirms something, or it starts a new line. And then backspace deletes the character that you just typed. Delete deletes the character that is on the right-hand side. And then shift makes all letters uppercase when you are holding it and another letter. And it is also used in some shortcuts. Caps lock keeps all letters in uppercase when it is on, so you don't need to click shift. And then arrow keys move your cursor around with the mouse. So if you were to write anything, just write the ones that you don't know what they mean. So if you know what some of them mean, then you don't need to write it down.
You can also show an image later, maybe. Maybe not.
Okay. Is that okay? So the next one are common keyboard shortcuts. So these are really useful to know. So there should be a button on most computers that's control, or some of them will be command. So if you hold control and C at the same time while highlighting something, it'll copy whatever you're highlighting. And then if you press control V, it will paste it, whatever you copied. Or if you wanted to duplicate it, you can press control V multiple times to have the same thing copied, 5 or 6 times. And then Control X means cut, but essentially it is like Control C, except it just deletes the text that you just copied, and then you can use Control V for that as well. So those are the ones that are pretty useful, but Control Z is also really useful. It just undoes. So if there's no back arrow on your computer or when you're typing, Control Z will undo and take back your last action. Then Control S will save your current file. So if you press Control S on whatever you're doing, a pop-up should show that this file has been saved. Then Control F is, if you do this, then you can type in letters or numbers or words, and it'll show you that word in your text or in your files. So it is searching for words, which is pretty useful. And then Control A selects all of the text on the page, everything on it, and then some computers can do Control P, where it prints to a printer automatically. So just write any of them that you don't know or any of them that you want to use when you use a computer next.
Taj, we do not know before you teach us.
Oh,
Okay.
this
So
is
have you
first time
guys
they're
used
here.
computers before?
Yeah, you are we are curious. You are about curious.
Yeah, but don't know the shortcuts.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
sure.
these shortcuts, so write all of the shortcuts down because they're very useful and they make it really easy and efficient to use computers. And if there's no control button, it might be a command button or something else. But it's important to hold both of them at the same time. So holding both of them at the same time is the only way it works.
Yeah, button to একেলগে টিপিব লাগিব দেই কন্ট্ৰল এণ্ড একেলগে একে সময়ত প্ৰেছ কৰিব লাগিব নহলে নহব আৰু তোমালোকে প্ৰেক্টিকেল লেসন দি দিব পাৰিবা ন বাবলি
মেম
এই বস্তুখিনি প্ৰেক্টিকেল সেশন দি দিব পাৰিবা
ইহঁতৰ তেতিয়া বেছি ক্লিয়াৰ হৈ যাব বস্তুখিনি
তেতিয়া বেছি ক্লিয়াৰ হ'ব আৰু সোনকালে কৰি দিলে যদি
এইটো
নোটছখিনি
কৰিম
লাগে
মেম
মই পঠিয়াই দিম হোৱাটছআপ দি পঠিয়াই দিম
ওকে মেম
হৈছে নে
কি হৈছে নে
We can wait like 30 more seconds.
Okay. I think we're done. Please.
All right. Is everybody ready?
yes sir
All right, sounds good. So the next one is opening and closing applications. So the reason this is important is because we want our work to save. So if you're going to write anything down, write what's in the green box, but I'll explain it further. So an application is an app, and it is a program that is run on the computer. To open it, you can double click the icon or on the desktop or use the apps menu if that computer has one. And then the app appears in a window on your screen. And then to close it, you click the X button in the top right corner, and that will, if the application already saves, it will exit out. But if they say that this cannot be saved, there will be a pop-up where you should save your work then. And then you can have multiple apps open at the same time by minimizing your windows and opening another application. And then you can switch between them using a taskbar at the bottom. So if you hover over a taskbar, you should see all of your different applications, and then you can click them and go to Google for one of them, or go to YouTube for another one. So the most important part is that clicking X will close it, and that you need to make sure to save it. And double clicking will also open up the application.
Is it possible to get some screenshots of this, what you just showed? Shall I
Yeah.
get it?
So an example is this is minimizing.
একটু দেখুৱাই দিছে চোৱা এইটো এই মাইনাসটো কৰিলে মিনিমাইজ হৈ যায়
And then if I want to bring it back up, I'm hovering over here, and now I can see this. And then if I want to see something else, I can go to the taskbar, and then I will see this. So these are all things, different applications that my computer has, and I can open any of these.
Let's wait here. Taskbar মানে এই তলত যে দেখিছা সৰু সৰু আইকন বিলাক এইবিলাক taskbar বুলি কয় তাক show the taskbar cursor টোৰে
So this is the taskbar right here. So see, this is a snipping tool. So by hovering over it and double clicking it, it'll work. And then this is my apps menu, where all of my apps are shown here, where you can single click it and it'll open up. But then the taskbar, you can double click it and it will open. And then this was the minimizing.
দেখি পাইছা নে
মেম দেখি আছো
দেখি আছা
Alright. And the square button makes it enter the full screen. Okay. So the desktop and taskbar. So we already talked about this, but the desktop is the home screen of your computer. So I can quickly show you what that looks like. So this is my desktop. I have all of my things right here. And then there is a start menu, which is the Windows. So that was the thing that shows all of the apps. Then there are notifications on certain computers that will appear in the bottom right corner. If you have an email or if you need to update your computer, it'll show up in the bottom right. And then the trash or the recycling bin will delete all files, but you can recover them as long as you don't permanently delete them. And then minimizing was the line where you can hide the window without closing it, and then you can make it reappear through the taskbar. So I can quickly show you what minimizing is. So right here, if I press this, it will minimize and I see my home screen. But if I go to my
That's just can you wait students বিলাকক এই চাব দিয়া হা তোমালোকে লিখাতকৈ এইখিনি চোৱাচোন তাজে কি বুজাইছে মিনিমাম সৰু মাইনাস সাইনটো যে আছে এইটো চুই দিলে স্ক্ৰিনখন নাইকিয়া হৈ যায় ঠিক আছে
But then the taskbar will open it back up. So if you were going to write stuff, write the ones that you did not know before.
I think that should be it.
Okay. Now I will move on to the next slide. So these are the most important steps. So right when you turn on your computer, wait a little bit and then you can use your computer whatever you want, but make sure if you're doing unsaved work, you save it, and then you should close out your apps using the X, and then you should shut down your computer using the power button. So this is the steps for using your computer. So saving your computer is the most important because not all of the time your work will be saved, and then it will be a pain to do it again.
Yeah, Babli, সিহঁতক এই লেসন এটা সোনকালে দিলে প্ৰেক্টিকেল নলেজটো হেল্পফুল হ'ব ষ্টুডেন্টছ বিলাকৰ
মেম
সিহঁতি
সেইটো দিব লাগিব।
ভগাই
এতিয়া
ভগাই
মানে
কৰিলে
বস্তুখিনি এতিয়া সেই থিয়ৰিটিকেল সেইখিনি হৈছে আৰু তেতিয়া মানে ভালকে ক্লিয়াৰ
ইয়া এতিয়া থিয়ৰিটো কৰক প্ৰেক্টিকেলটো in this week. Yeah, I think you can go to the next one, Taj.
Okay. So we will go over typing, but just some basic things is to make sure you just have good posture, because if you're typing for a long time, you will eventually start to feel pain. And then you keep your left four fingers, so your pointer, ring finger, middle finger, and pinky on ASDF, and then your four right fingers on JKL and semicolon. So whenever you're typing, you put them on the home row. These are what the home row keys are called, because you have easy and equal access to every other key. And then when you start typing, it's okay to look, but as you get more proficient with typing, try not to look at the keyboard, because it is practical to memorize it. And then it's fine to start slowly and be accurate, and then as you build up, you'll be able to start typing faster. And then just practice as much as you can. Whenever you have a computer, you can go to typing websites to practice your typing.
লাগে যদি মই বিলাক slides দি দিব পাৰো তেতিয়া সিহঁতে বেছি লিখিব নালাগে, right Taj? This one I can give the slides for them, right?
Yeah. Probably the most important thing to write down is the home row keys.
Second bullet point, right?
Yeah. All right.
Yes, you can move to the next slide.
Sounds good. So for this lesson, you can just talk with your group and then we can regroup. So either tell me what are the list of steps that you should follow to shut down your computer and why is it a proper shutdown process important, or you can tell me what are 3 control commands. So talk with a group and then we can regroup in 1 to 3 minutes.
সিহঁতক গ্ৰুপত ভগাই দিব পাৰা বাবলি, and then এটা গ্ৰুপে ওপৰৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো লওক, ছেকেণ্ড গ্ৰুপে তলৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো লওক।
মেম মই গ্ৰুপ বনাই দিছো।
আৰু তিনিটা কুৱেশ্যন আছে, তিনিটাও আছে আচলতে। লিষ্ট দ্য ষ্টেপছ ইউ উড ফলো, কি কি লিষ্ট কেনেকে শ্বাটডাউন কৰিব লাগে, শ্বাটডাউন প্ৰচেছটো কিয় ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট, সেইটো বেলেগ এটা গ্ৰুপেও কৰিব, দুটাও কৰিব পাৰা, তিনিটাও কৰিব পাৰা।
তিনিটা গ্ৰুপ বনাই দিছো, ইহঁতে অলপ ডিছকাছ কৰি এনচাৰ কৰি আছে।
ভেৰি নাইচ।
Maybe?
Muted আছে দেই শুনি পোৱা নাই
I think they're talking with their groups.
No, I think they're explaining it to you. Babli muted আছে দেই
Oh, ma'am. ইহঁতে অলপ ডিসকাস কৰি আছিলে কাৰণে মই মিউট কৰি থৈছিলো
okay,
Yeah.
very nice, very nice.
Okay. Will group 1 list the steps to safely shut down a computer?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
The list of steps that we would follow to safely shut down a computer is first we should always on the computer and then wait for some time, then use the computer and then what files we want to save we save then we what and then we close the start button and then go to the shutdown.
Yep. Good job.
But
Well,
the proper shutdown process is important because when we do not shut down the computer properly, then we face it will destroy the files that the system of files that we use that we save. But when we shut down the computer, then our files will keep safe.
very good job. Nice. Now, can somebody else say what are 3 control commands and maybe what are they used for?
Can say?
Nas, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Control C was do anything copy. Yes. Control Z was
Undo. Undo correct the action.
do anything action or delete. Control P was control V was press.
Paste. Good job. All right. Now,
control F to জানে নেকি খুদাছো
could anybody explain what a control F is?
তিনটা control commands কবা say one লিখিছিলা না নোট ডাউন কৰিছিলা okay say
Key controls of computer commands are Control C copies selected text or items. Control V pastes what you copied, and Control X cut selected items. That's all.
Yep. All right. Good job.
very good yeah ধুনীয়াকৈ মনত ৰাখিছা
So that was lesson 2 of basic computer skills. So are we feeling good today, or do we want to go to the next lesson?
next chapter to Tajar ready আছে storage শিকাব কিন্তু যদি বেছি হয় তেতিয়া আজি ইমানতে সামৰিব পাৰে বা যদি আৰু শিকিবলৈ সিহঁতৰ energy আছে if you still have energy শিকাব
What's the
পাৰে
class?
actually they are very exhausted and সিহঁতৰ dinner কৰাও time হৈ গৈছে ma'am
yeah that সেইকাৰণে সুধিছে that is perfect সেইকাৰণে আজি ছুটি লেসন এটাই লৈছে
okay আমি হেতু class next কৰিম আৰু
yes perfect you don't want to learn too many new things yeah thank you ভাল লাগিল
ma'am thank you
switch on your computer dash switch on your audio yeah okay have a good night and enjoy your dinner yeah and practice the practical session okay
okay ma'am
Okay.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Yeah, do the practical lesson before next class, okay? Bye now. Good night.